Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
This town needs an enema.
Take him to Detroit.
No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Guess Captain Soundboard doesn't know how to run the soundboard.
It's yet another in a long series of diversions in an attempt to avoid responsibility.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Go!
And we are live once again.
Finally.
The IT and the D Show. Russell Industrial Center, beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. This is the IT and the D Show presented by DetroitNet.org. We have been away for like a month. I think we forgot how to do this. This is episode 11.
That's what she said.
This is episode 11 for the fourth time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
it's like Groundhog Day
of all ages. This is Bob the Sales Guy. We're here with Jeff the Voice of Reason, Dave the Geek, and we got two great guests. We have Brad here from Grand Circus. How we do?
Excellent, gentlemen.
Good. And we got Jay here from Arbor Gift Camp. Did I do that?
Give. No teeth.
Give. We were hoping you brought gifts. I think that was Freudian.
There was this one time at Gift Camp.
Oh, you were waiting for that one all day.
And while we had to bring him in because the only other alternative was Hillary, a.k.a. H-Bomb.
Banned, dead to us.
The whole show would be one big bleep.
That's pretty much what the whole show was when we had her on here. Yeah.
No, it was like The Departed on TBS.
Like 17 minutes.
Have you ever watched The Departed on TBS? That would have been like with Hillary on here. That's just... A 2-hour movie becomes like 15 minutes long.
Did you expect the entire show to be one big bleep, or was it like The Departed when the elevator opened up and
it was sort of like, R2-D2 was apparently just the nastiest character in all the Star Wars movies because it was just beepity beepity beep. That's it. Yeah, that's all it was.
Hillary. But yeah, this is episode 11. We got a lot of stuff we got to talk about today. We have if you want to hit us up online, by the way, before I forget, you can hit us up at Facebook at IT and the D, Twitter at IT and the D, or you can actually call in. We 313-462-0107.
Look at us. We're all organized for a change. It only took us a month to figure that out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we've had the last few weeks to prep.
Well, no,
we actually didn't practice or anything like that.
Well, no, one week, Transformers 4 was here, blew up a transformer.
Yeah, no.
So they had no internet power here. The next week, the guy that stabbed the guard with the spork and then went...
Well, and just wacky mayhem ensued and, police situations all over downtown. And then we had Labor Day in that mix and... Bob started drinking again. In case anybody missed that memo.
3 weeks worth.
It's Holy Week. Today would have been 3 months, but it's Holy Week for us Germans, Oktoberfest. So I have to partake.
Yeah, so now it's back to all right, we got served. So now it's on.
It's like Donkey Kong, yeah.
And Bob looks extremely attractive in his later hosen.
Oh, yeah, suede shorts make it's a manly thing, I tell you. And then another grown man helping you with your suede shorts because the suspenders are hard to
It's not that kind of show, Bob.
All right, we'll talk about that later.
We got to talk about how it's episode 11 one more time.
The fourth incarnate, yeah, because it was Labor Day. Yeah, so we've been gone for a month.
Are we doing points 11.4? That's right. It's release 11.3. That's B.4. That's
so just to take care of some business. Beta. Just to take care of some business real quick, we do have a big event this Thursday. We need to talk about that real quick. We have the twice-a-year Pink Slip Party at the St. Andrews Hall down in Detroit, Michigan, the last one in March. We had about 700 people show up. We have live music, open bar, free food. Actually, it was one of the better events I've ever been to.
Hands down. I mean, from a Pink Slip Party perspective, and if you guys don't know the history of our group or what we've done, we've always kind of done, casual networking events all around the area. We bounce around between Royal Oak and Troy and Rochester Hills. We've been as far out as Flint. I was telling you when you showed up over at 3rd Street, we finally made our way out to Ann Arbor.
I was going to say, made it to Ann Arbor.
Yep. And so what wound up happening is when we got back in March of 2009, we finally realized that like more than half the people that were showing up at our events weren't really looking to network. They were looking for a job. So there was, the network of geeks that was there. Word got out about that. And so recruiters started showing up looking to hire people. And then word got out that there were recruiters there looking to hire people. And so people started showing up looking for jobs. And so sort of as a defense mechanism, we all sat down at the Blackfin, after our March event that year in 2009 and just said, okay, look, we need to do something to, try to keep our networking events as networking events. So there's this concept out there called the Pink Slip Party, the guys in Florida and California are doing that are all about finding jobs. It's basically what we do right now, just on a bigger scale. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. And so we shot a note out to basically every recruiter we knew and
we had 3 news crews out. We were the Breaking News Story 515. Bora Kim.
Yeah, the one and only time that
the only speech you've ever heard at a Detroit Net event was when the Blackfin threw us up on the big screen in the back room because the Channel 4 Breaking News Story was on, and Bob went, "Hey, look, we're on TV."
So, other than that, no speakers. But back in March we had roughly 110
recruiters.
But I guess the key differences between 2009 and now is back then there was guys looking for jobs. Now the recruiters are looking for established workers.
Oh yes, I mean,
the little
and recruiters looking for other recruiters.
So the rule used to be only people that are allowed to come are people hiring and people looking. But now it's kind of it's just more of a networking thing, but it's more of a job focus.
Well, and it's always been a mixed bag at any of our events, whether it was the Pink Slip parties where people show up. Well, yeah, I mean Pink Slip parties, people show up, they network, they're there to meet people, and that's cool. The smaller events, which are not so small anymore, people still show up and look for jobs at those, and that's great. But I mean, to your point though, I mean it is 180 degrees from what it was. Our first Pink Slip party in May of 2009. It was 350 odd people, and it was basically there because people were dying to get FaceTime with recruiters.
Well, the problem too that we grew out of every bar we ever went to, so the only place now that can hold us, the next place we got to go is the Fillmore because
didn't Blackfin say after that first Pink Slip party, they said never again?
Oh no, are you kidding? They loved us. I mean,
they just couldn't accommodate us.
Well,
that's what I mean.
If the fire marshal would have shown up, there would have been an issue. But
we did the same thing to Bastown in the basement. It was
Well, and so let's say we moved over to the Post Novi, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, no more Post Bar.
But yeah, so now we've got but again to that 180 degrees. Now we've got whereas 2, 3, 4 years ago it was people knocking on our inboxes going, okay, when's your next event? When's your next event? I need a job. Now it's recruiters that are hitting us up hardcore.
Give me .NET developers.
Yeah,
give me mobile developers.
I need to hire somebody. And so yes, I mean we tried doing these quarterly, and it just got to be way too much.
We do have
we actually have full-time jobs.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we still do this in what we laughingly call our free time.
Brent was perplexed earlier.
No, that was like the one
you guys
question.
actually not getting any money for this? No, we're not.
No,
we're doing it wrong.
Wait, you guys, nothing? No, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Don't ever total up what you spend in this. We're like, yeah, trust me.
Yeah, no, we never ever will, because that's not even just what we've spent on it. So we sat down and did the math once. We figured out
not a good idea.
Yeah, no. So we're up over like 550 people that have found jobs through our events. You figure your average referral fee for a decent placement is $1,500 to $2,500. We haven't been that bad. We don't have that much karma that we still need to work off. So yeah, St. Nicholas.
I actually need to finish my basement. Maybe we should.
Yeah, you can pay for it in karma. Right. That's what it is. Yeah.
Well, no, Brad, you should have seen the look on our faces in the March event where it's like, I paid for the room rental, right, which was like $800, and then the bar tab was like $2,000, and so those guys were like, it was like bats in the belfry, like, here's your credit card, put like $1,500 on it, and then you're like, guys, you
times two,
and then they're like, no,
15 minutes later it's out.
No, then the 15 minute the manager's like, guys, you didn't tip enough. For like, no,
yeah, exactly.
And now I'm not even allowed to pay for my own beer before the show.
Yeah,
right. No,
you guys have come a long way.
We have.
Well, I mean, we got smart about it. So I mean, the rule with Detroit Net for the longest time was always, no sponsors, because we didn't want to pollute it. We didn't want to, it be seen as selling out. We didn't want to be seen as, kind of caving to a particular company or recruiter or anything like that. And, what we kind of finally realized is that we've done a good enough job weeding out the people that suck, that, the people that are around that do want to sponsor this, that do want to get involved in us. It's okay.
Well, it's actually self-policing now. I mean, our active members, the one that's actually come to our events on a regular basis, actually help us.
Oh, yeah.
Turn away people
But the
that are
attendees,
there.
the biggest part about sponsorships is you got to listen to a guy speak, and then you get your name sold, and you get phone calls every 2 weeks for the rest of your life. So we made it a point that the sponsors know walking into this thing, like, hey, you're not getting a list,
Right.
and you're not getting on a
There's
soapbox.
no stage. There's
Right,
no
right.
So
You're
yeah,
just getting additional FaceTime. That's about it.
right. Well, and it's. I mean, it is. I mean, you think about a focused demographic. I mean, we've talked to guys that have done quote unquote job fairs elsewhere, and they've paid $6, $8, $10 grand for a table.
Did you know that exists?
And it's not a focused
I'm horrified
demographic.
to say yes.
Yeah. Well, and it's not a focused demographic. I mean, that's the one thing we can kind of lay claim to is our folks are it's all IT, it's all Metro Detroit. Granted, we do have the occasional bus full of people from Lansing that drive down,
Which is outstanding.
Yes.
The guy from Muskegon.
Oh, yeah.
I almost feel bad. Like, let me introduce you to everyone because you drove.
Yeah, that was
2.5 hours.
the Red Ox event
Red
in
Ox
Utica
event.
that he
Yeah.
showed up.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's just it's gotten to the point now where Thursday night just based on what we're seeing and the responses and that was the other phenomenal part is so we said okay look we're going to do sponsors for this. They were gone in 3 days. People were the companies that we had hoped and kind of figured would be engaged were all over it.
So we got open. So just do I throw this out there? We got PBR
Yeah, go
talls.
for it.
PBR talls for at least for the first couple hours.
Yeah.
And what about the food?
Oh, we got Bucharest Grill.
Bucharest Grill, chicken shawarma.
Dave and I got introduced to Bucharest Grill. I don't know how I've never eaten there.
I don't know how you didn't know about it before that.
But do you know what it's called to the locals?
Chicken shawarma.
Crack.
Only Buki. Bucharest is too many syllables.
That's Bazooki to me though.
Only Buki?
Yeah, it's just Buki.
Buki.
You say Buki, people know what you mean.
But
We spend enough time in Park Bar drinking the beer. I need Buki.
But then I think we got to go over to
Bazooki?
Yeah, exactly. Not that Buki.
Yeah, completely different animal.
Can you order Buki at Bazooki's?
Oh, good question.
That's very meta.
They do deliver because they are delivering for our event on Thursday night.
Nice plug. I like it.
Well, no, I mean that's and that's our whole thing is
I did get a picture of somebody taking a selfie the other day, which was an outstanding picture.
You took a selfie of yourself with the Big Show the other day.
I
so
did.
let's not talk.
I did.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're going to call you out on that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Let's not be throwing stones there, man in glass house.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Here's my bottle of Windex.
Yes, I mean our whole thing is we still again
We'll talk later.
haven't made a dime off of any of this stuff. So yeah, I mean we've got sponsors coming in that are ponying up cash. That gets directly funneled back to the open bar, back to Bucharest Grill coming in and doing the food. The musicians that we've got coming in. We've got something very, very cool happening at 7:00.
Can we tell?
No, we can't tell.
We want it to be a surprise.
That's why it's called a surprise.
I didn't know we were surprised. That's surprises for 8-year-olds.
You got the email.
You know what? After
tell you what.
with Big Show.
Now,
Yeah, exactly. Big Show's coming.
Yeah, after listening to your tirade Friday night
Dave,
about how we're not 8-year-old children and we're not staying for the fireworks at the Tigers
We're
game.
not staying for the fireworks.
Dave, now I know Bob doesn't read my emails.
Do you go to weekend Tiger
Property's
games,
not.
Brad?
Yes.
Now you know
Do you
how
stay
I
for
feel.
the fireworks?
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I would absolutely stay if I was told I wasn't allowed to.
I'm a
Stick it to the man.
Yeah, I'm a grown man. I don't need an umbrella when it's raining, and I don't stay for the fireworks on Friday night baseball games.
You don't wait in line to get into a bar either.
I do not wait in a line to go anywhere.
Or a cover, as we
I
learned.
do not pay cover. Hey guys, come into we're at Cliff Bell's. Come on in. Awesome.
Yeah, listen to some jazz, have some great beer.
$10
All right.
cover.
$10 cover. Go f***ing yourself.
Are there topless women? No. Then I'm leaving.
So yeah,
And we
Thursday night, St. Andrews Hall starts
Speaking
at 5
of
o'clock.
Buki.
Yeah, Thursday night, St. Andrews Hall starts at 5 o'clock. If you
Yeah, it
don't-
is 5 o'clock. You got to.
Yes, I mean, just it will probably be running till at least 9. 8 o'clock. It'll still be running strong.
Make
8
sure
to
you
9.
RSVP so we know you're coming.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's real easy to RSVP. So, I mean, if there are any recruiters out there that are listening, no, you don't have to pay to come to this either. We really just want to know that you're coming so we can have a badge waiting for you when you get there, because that helps the job seekers easily identify you as a recruiter. And then job seekers, if you're looking for a gig, shoot your resume to us as well. That email address is for both cases is detroitnet@gmail.com. Just if you're a recruiter and you want to come, shoot us a note with who you've got showing up.
And if you just want to network, if you're in the IT industry, you are more than welcome. Cause it'll
you don't necessarily have to be there just to look for a job.
Absolutely. It's a good networking event in and of itself.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's going to be all kinds of people there. I mean, we've got MEDC coming in. We've got folks from a trade show later this year coming in.
Telecom Association of Michigan.
Yep. We've got there'll be folks from
having MEDC is cool. That's big.
It's good. I mean, we've been going out to MEDC for more than a year now. It's cool to have them coming back and doing our thing. We've got New Horizons that'll be there, talking about training and that kind of stuff. We've got just a whole host of Brightwing and Arrow are both going to be there. So I mean,
everyone's hiring .NET developers. I'm going to say
and mobile developers. Yeah. Well, and Brad, that's something we're absolutely going to touch on later because I mean, you actually just picked up one of our favorite people, Erica Carlson.
Yes.
Yeah, and she was in here back during our all the way back in our second episode.
Yes, Leather and Lace.
Yep, talking about and
we shouldn't have told him because now he's going to go back and listen to it and go, I don't know about this.
What was it like? We invited him on the show and they call her bluff, and they show up in what?
And Michelle showed up in a leather dress, and
she
Erica
showed up in
lace. Yeah, so just totally.
She was going to V nightclub, I think, afterwards.
Oh well, no, that's unusual. That's what they've been wearing every time I've talked to them.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I wear suede shorts,
Tuesday.
and I'm the idiot.
Right. Well, but it looks good. On you. Yeah. But no, so I mean that's one of the things we want to touch on is that gap that exists between what organizations like Girl Develop It does and what the employers are actually looking for, and that role that you're looking to fill, as well as Jay from the Give Camp perspective, and that's going on this weekend, right?
Yep.
Because I mean, it is a cool opportunity. If there's anybody out there, in fact, that's one of the reasons I want to make sure we get some stuff out there because we'll have a good concentrated core audience of people that might be able to donate some time this weekend. Just it's a great, cool thing that does basically work for nonprofits, if I recall correctly.
Right.
That don't necessarily have the budgets to get stuff done,
like us.
Well, that's why I said on the new business cards I want has no cash value in little print at the bottom.
No, someone asked me
put that on the side of your car.
I think someone asked me the question one time what's your guys' budget? I'm like no. Like no. What's your no? We take in no money. We don't have any to give, and if it is, it's our money, and if we're using it to buy beer, and that's about it. So
yeah, and I mean, and that's really what Thursday night is going to be. I mean, it's it's kind of the next step, and of our events, and we've been kind of kicking around everything that we've had going on. The pink slip parties have kind of taken on a life of their own, and as Jeff was saying earlier, we've built a great enough core. Guys like Ray Braun, who just shot an email in.
Thanks, Ray.
But it's one of those things.
Show's awful, guys hate it.
Right? No, but I mean,
pack it in.
Yeah, exactly, and you're done. No, but I mean, we have. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time now, and and we've talked about the evolution of the group and the core and what we've been doing. And it's really, really great to see, it doesn't have to be, Bob or Dave or Jeff that people look for anymore, because there are people that have been floating around for 3, 4, 5 years that know everybody in the room just as well as we do, and can handle pointing people around and they step up and they kind of bridge that gap. Because I mean, I guarantee you Thursday night, I'm going to be running around like I have my hair on fire.
I'm going to be at the bar.
Well, it's also interesting too. There's a friendly camaraderie between the recruiting companies as well. They're not out there saying, grab that .NET developer.
That's one thing
before the other one goes.
That's funny you bring that up because I never really dawned on me or noticed that, but that's funny that they're not. The claws aren't out more. They're all cool with each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but there's
except for one, and we banned him. But that's
right. Well, then it's because the claws came out from us.
Right.
But no, I mean, there's a really good reason for that. I mean, you look at the past, 5, 6 years, that we've been doing this. How much moving and shuffling around have we seen where X recruiter was at company A and is now at company B?
Oh, yeah. It's a revolving door for recruiters as much as it is for developers.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that people in Detroit have this innate passion for growing the talent in the city, right? So it's not all about, how do I grow my piece of the pie? It's how do we grow the pie in general? So I think that That's
Right.
something that exists across companies, whether it's recruiters
absolutely.
or developers. Everyone wants to grow Detroit, so that's the beauty of you don't see this competition head to head.
No, and I mean, you don't get like, I know, one of the business partners that I have in my day job, they're based out in London, Ontario, and, they have one of their key competitors basically right up the street. And, one of the common laments that we get into conversations all the time is they're always stealing developers back and forth. They target, whoever the top tech leads are over there, and, they bring them over to the other company for a while. And you don't get a lot of that.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you bring that up because me being in sales is very cutthroat. Back in college when I worked for Budweiser, I would go to lunch almost every day with either the Miller or the Labatt guy. Everybody said, "Why are you friends with him?" I said, "You got to keep. I want to be friends with him so he doesn't screw me over."
Right.
Like, even today, I'll go to lunch with the Microsoft guy, the Oracle guy, the HP guy. Doesn't matter because again, I don't want him. You know what I mean? I want to at least know that I'm out there. And oh man, he's good. They know who I am, and they're not going to purposely look to screw me over. And I think
you're developing a relationship.
Absolutely,
I mean, they're going to think twice before screwing you over.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, and not only
unless
that,
there's $1 million deal on the table, then all rules.
yeah. Then they'll throw rocks at your head. Yeah,
and I don't blame them though.
Well, no, but I mean, that really is what we try to foster with the entire group. We don't, it's that whole don't be that guy. We don't tell people what to do. We tell them what not to do, and we tell them, all the, the golden rules of networking and the 10 commandments of networking.
We got everyone walking on eggshells, I think, because they're afraid. Don't write about me.
Oh, it does. It makes it makes me laugh every time we get an email that says, "Hey, I'm thinking about coming to your event for the very first time. I don't want to wind up as a blog."
Well, I get a chuckle every time we get an email into the LinkedIn group saying, can I join your group? I promise not to be that guy.
Oh yeah.
Those are the ones you got to watch out for, right?
Or exactly.
Well, we were
the
talking
sheep in wolf's clothing,
and I think that's one of the biggest things, at least in an event where you got 700 people, is you're still going to get elevator pitch guy that's going to do a 60-second pitch. We get it at every event. There's at least one guy.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it, Brad, at the bar, or if you just boil it down to, I'm Bob with Cisco. What do you do?
Right.
And then, you're looking for a job? Cool. I know that recruiter. But what happened? You know what I mean? Instead of, me going into 30 seconds about what I do, and then, I don't care. Dude, I don't care. That's all you're thinking about. Yeah.
Shoot people straight. Be honest about your situation and what you want to accomplish.
Absolutely. And you say, hey, I work for Grand Circus. And they go, cool. Is the elephants, you guys, all the animal controls, is that good?
I'm so mad at myself. And now,
sorry, I had to go there.
No, now that I'm thinking about it, because, we've had so many delays, and I really don't know if I was smart enough to put this in this music mix or not.
We had this all planned out. I wanted
the
right. I'm disappointed it took us 23 minutes to get here.
Yeah, right. You were expecting that 30 seconds in, weren't you?
Well, you saw the header grapher, the header graphic. The header graphic, the header graphic on the event listing on Facebook had the ringmaster with the whip and the big red coat and all that.
That's why this event's called "Ladies and Gentlemen, Boys and Girls, Children of all ages."
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages.
We had some debate internally as to what our title should be, whether we should use the term ringleader or not, and we ultimately we moved away from it.
See, now Dave and I, we have a if we ever start a company, which is we'll probably be 70, then we're going to launch it finally. But it's Star Wars themed, and I said, your business cards will be like Red Leader, Red 5. I think that'd be brilliant. All the rooms are like Naboo, and the meeting.
Tauntaun Wrangler.
Exactly. Wampa. It's
any new hire is immediately an Ewok. Yeah, life's good.
No, I was going to go into the story about buying my daughter the job with a HUD book. What's Wampa, Dad? Never mind.
Nice.
Great story, Bob. We'll tell that one at the bar later.
Right.
So how does it work on Thursday, right? So you've got this great pink slip party that's coming. So if someone's coming for the first time, what should they be aware of? What should they do beforehand so they can be sure to be prepared?
Look at you, Mr. Radio Host.
Nice. So rule number one, if you're coming to the event, is no resumes. Don't bother. And what we always tell people is, you don't want to carry around a stack of your resume all night long. The recruiters sure as hell don't want to carry around a stack of everybody's all night long.
No ties.
And no ties. I mean, and it is.
Unless you're Jeff Haas.
Right. And then
it's not a job fair.
Well, no.
But we want to make sure that we know you're coming beforehand.
Brad, I'm sorry.
No.
It's
your show. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry. The middle of my sentence interrupted the start of yours.
Right. But the whole point is
was that about not talking over everyone?
Yeah, exactly. The job fair premise is, you stand in a line and you got the 60
For
seconds
45 minutes.
For 45 minutes, then you get there, and that guy that's listening to you has no idea who the last 30 were, and he's not going to know who you were.
Absolutely.
Where in these types of events, it's casual, right? There's people kind of mingling, just like they would in a regular bar. You might meet 4 or 5 people, but you're going to have a nice dialogue and a meaningful conversation. And you might meet 2 people you're going to look to that are qualified to hire, then you'll hire 1. So we found out kind of unbeknownst to us that we sped up the hiring process through these like job fair type events. So that's kind of why they've gained traction throughout the years.
Well, and what we've always told people, and it winds up being very, very true, is that, you're going to get more out of a 2-minute conversation. Even if that's all it is, you'll get more out of a 2-minute conversation with a recruiter or somebody that's looking for a gig, or even just somebody that's looking to network and expand their connections in the industry, than you will over months of emails.
Absolutely.
Because it is.
Or getting blasted with 500 resumes.
Well, yeah, so what we heard from the recruiters was the job seekers love it because they get FaceTime with a recruiter and it can actually hear about the gig. The recruiters love it because they actually get, essentially this, sitting around the table with a beer in your hand. They get the real person that's, actually going to show up on a Monday morning at work, as opposed to the, hi, I'm here in my 3-piece suit with my dark blue tie, and I'd like to, basically lie my ass off about everything I've ever done.
Voice.
Yeah, exactly. And so, they get to see the real person.
I'm a very hard worker.
Yeah.
And I'm prompt and...
You forgot team player. Don't forget.
But I think to answer the question, if someone's coming for the first time, right, they're...
Yeah, step 1 is read our site.
Read our site. Don't be that guy, but let us know you're coming. So if we know... all right, fine, we got your resume, but we also know that there's going to be 100 recruiters that are looking for .NET. I mean, that's the ongoing joke, but it's it's funny because it's true. So if you walk up to us and you're like, and somebody says, "Hi, my name's John. This is the first time I'm here. I have no idea what to do." All right, fine, John. What do you do? I'm a .NET developer. I'm going to know that there's 5 recruiters that are looking.
They're drooling.
They're drooling for .NET. So I'm going to take you by the hand and say, John, here's recruiter A, here's recruiter B, all the way down to Z. Talk to them.
Well, and that really is what we always tell people, and honestly, I mean, and this is, it's in the 10 commandments of networking. It's what we preach to everybody that's out there is your initial point of contact and your salvation should be the person running the event. So the first people you should be looking for when you walk into one of our events, especially if it's your first time, is me, is Jeff, is Bob, one of us 3. And the running gag is that it's not a dating website, so you'll actually recognize us from our photos on the site.
But what we've done though, instead of like the recruiters are all going to have a lanyard, so you're gonna, like, we immediately, if you're looking for a job, we're like, don't put your name, like don't put Bob Wallenspiel, put Bob.net developer or Bob.net or Java or whatever. Just so if you're walking by and someone's not going to look at Bob, they don't care what my name is, but they see .net, they go, oh, come here, right? So that's kind of the point. And if you see a guy with a lanyard, you can start up a conversation with him because he probably wants to hire you.
So that means that everybody's related. They all have the last same name.
They all do. They're Bob.net.
I'm Bob Java.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Java.
I'm Bob
Jay
Mobile
Java.
Dev.
Well, I was what was it? I had to write my own name card at the Cisco event last week, and I put Bob Cisco. And everybody's like, "Oh, Bob Cisco, nice to meet you." I go, "Yeah, I legally changed my name from Bob Hewlett Packard. It's a pleasure."
Really, you didn't go with Eric Stratton, Rush Chairman?
I did once, but then
Did anyone call you out on it?
Which what?
Eric Stratton.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I could pull an animal out. Damn glad to meet you. And I'm like, really? Hey, we are coming up on a break. This is the IT and the D show, Raw Radio X. We will see you in a few.
In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
Barbarian, magician, thief, cavalier, and acrobat.
Who was that?
That was Venger, the force of evil. I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of dungeon.
There's nobody listening that knows what that is. I'm sad to admit that I know what that is.
It's the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
I know. We're both 40. Anyone under the age of 38 has no idea what the hell that was.
Well, then you know what? They need to go rent it.
That was awful. Did you ever watch like Johnny Sacco now? It's terrible.
Oh, of course it is.
Like Ultraman. I'm like, oh my God, that was the coolest thing ever. I bought at Comic-Con, they have DVDs.
And you had to
this
gorge your eyes out.
So bad. Back to business. This is the IT and the D show, Raw Radio X Studios at Russell Industrial Center.
Welcome back.
Here in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan.
Beautiful.
This is the fourth reincarnation of episode 11.
11.4.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. The reason it's titled that is we have Brad here from Grand Circus down in Detroit. We got Jay here from Ann Arbor Give Camp. Woohoo. And we're gonna dive in a little deeper into Brad, what you're doing, and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, back in the second episode, and we kind of touched on this a little bit in the last segment, we had, Erica Carlson in here from Girl Develop at Detroit. And one of the things we talked about was the limitations that, a GDI has, or all, and there are a lot of great, really well-meaning organizations that are out there trying to train people on software, but they're teaching them by kind of the nature of the beast and budgets, open source.
Right.
They're teaching them MySQL and PHP and Apache and that kind of stuff.
But what about .NET? What about .NET?
Yeah, so
what
then
about
you've got,
.NET?
the CompuWares and the Quickens and all these other companies that are looking for .NET developers.
Oh, okay.
One or two
that we've heard of in passing.
Thank you for turning on the AC, by the way. I can breathe again.
You're welcome. But yeah, so, and that's, from what I understand, Grand Circus is kind of looking to be that bridge. That says, okay, we're going to do some training facilities, and we're going to go ahead and, get into some of that space.
Yeah, that's right. We're a modern tech training institute, and we want to teach on cutting-edge skills. So important to note is what we aren't, probably more so even than what we are. So we'll never be the tech training institute that wants to configure Windows 8 on your laptop. We're never going to be the one that does VMware certification, Citrix certification, right? So what we want to do is we want to help create more developers. When you look at Detroit, we hear constantly, we need more developers.
Everywhere.
Whether it's .NET, Java, Python, Ruby, Android, iOS. We need more developers across web and mobile, right? And
don't forget cloud.
Thank you very much. There's cloud developers.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. So there's a huge need for this tech.
Magical.
Talent. And
he's a sales guy. He's still looking for a Web 2.0 developer.
Something that pops.
Dancing Coke bottles.
Dancing babies too.
I don't know what I want, but when I see it, I'll know it.
That's all
It's like pornography. I'll know it when I see it. Anyways, Brad, please continue.
Right, we just need to get this train wreck moving, right?
Yes.
Right. No, so what we hear is constantly, we need folks who can help us in mobile development, right? So right now you see so many companies, whether it's small, medium businesses, looking to add a new capability to their set, or you see the need for large enterprises to be able to diversify, and they want to insource more of their operations now to be able to take care of mobile development. We're here to be able to address that gap. And you mentioned Girl Develop It, wonderful organization.
Oh, absolutely.
Focused on largely intro to development.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, Erica Carlson, one of the two co-founders of Girl Develop at Detroit, she's one of the instructors for Grand Circus, and the message we continue to get from Girl Develop It and others is, thank goodness that Grand Circus is here, because there's a number of organizations out there that do teach the very intro to development.
And that's the good part is you're not competing with them; you're a partner for them.
Absolutely.
It's
so let me ask
directly into the path that we've always talked about too.
As the sales guy, non-know in the room, just curious. Like, you're not doing certification classes. Like, what can they walk out of your classes having knowing, or they can sell to themselves?
Let's let him finish his intro.
All right, I'm just.
I think that's a perfect question, though, right?
It's the elephant in the room for me, so I figured I'd ask.
Yeah, I love it. So we're focused on outcomes. So what is it that you're going to be able to do as part of this course, right? So you're not going to get a certification, but at the end, you're going to be able to create a dynamic website, and you're going to be able to share that dynamic website with the world, right?
You're going to build your online portfolio.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's a real life project that you could deliver to something.
If you're developing on mobile, right, or really any type of language, you're going to be able to put your code on GitHub, right? It's going to be able to be seen by employers, because in the IT space, as you guys know, right, no one's going to be looking at your resume with a fine-tooth comb if they can see all this great code that you've been able to write and create.
And show me your pull request.
Exactly. And that's really the way that hiring is.
Wait a minute, what?
Crickets.
I might have to isolate that drop.
pull request.
No, isolate that one.
So really, at the end of our classes, you'll be able to achieve specific outcomes, and I'd be more than happy to talk about all the specifics of our individual classes. But it's what can you truly do at the end, and what can you communicate out to the world that you've been able to do. That's what we're all about, is achieving specific outcomes as opposed to teaching specific skills.
So it's not necessarily. I'm sorry, Dave. So it's not necessarily aligning yourself with current open recs for businesses that are looking for a particular skill set, right? It's more about general development. Well,
I mean, I think it's kind of common knowledge what almost any employer is looking for these days. I mean, it's not,
isn't it better?
But there are specifics.
Isn't it better off for you to approach a Blue Cross? I mean, I don't know what you're doing yet in terms of marketing, but it isn't like going to a Blue Cross and saying, "Hey, I can increase your guy's skill set by XYZ." Is this something you're looking for, or are you going after the individuals like Jeff or that say, "Hey, I want to learn XYZ"?
Sure. So,
or are you doing both?
Yeah. The beauty of the tech scene right now is when you think about developers. Who needs developers? Everyone.
Yeah, absolutely,
right?
Exactly.
So I go to startups, right? We're currently working on the Madison. We're going to be moving over into our new space in the Broderick Tower starting next week, which we're super excited about. But in the Madison, it's startups. Startups are dying for developers and really cutting-edge talent. You look at small, medium businesses, same thing. Where are the developers? We need more developers.
You mean Elance isn't working anymore? Sorry.
Wait, I thought it was IT Moonlighter.
Right, or Rent-A-Coder. Yeah.
Guru.com.
The beauty
That's
is
still around.
It is.
You see companies coming back, right? So it was outsource. Now it's, oh my goodness, that's been a bit of a train wreck. We need to bring that back in.
Well, you see the outsource to Detroit stickers everywhere.
Right, and it's been tremendously successful.
Not Detroit. Sorry.
and then finally,
a segment ago.
Exactly. Nice reset, Bob.
Anytime.
We talked about this. We talked about the startups, small, medium businesses, and you mentioned Blue Cross, right? The Blue Cross of the world, right? They're out there looking for developers as well. So you see really the gamut of folks who need developer talent.
But not just looking. I'm talking about increasing their talent. You know what I mean? If a guy comes in, hey, I'm a C+ guy, or old school developer wants to get. Hey, I'm an old mainframe guy, but I want to learn the newer, I want to learn .NET.
How do you do the retread, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
There's a lot of those guys. There's a lot of those guys we run into.
I did COBOL for 30 years. Can you help me?
And it's not even necessarily a retread. It's the how do you get to people?
We get them all the time,
and we tell them the same thing. Big
learn.net. Sorry.
Big Iron is never going to go away. There's going to be these companies that have this infrastructure, that have the legacy Big Iron out there.
Right.
If you can be the guy that knows that inside and out, and you happen to know .NET, Java, some sort of bridge language to bring that outside of the Big Iron world, game over. You've got job offers lining up for you.
Well, because that's the one thing we've been seeing too a lot, Brad, too, is guys are like, well, I do a little bit of Linux, I do a little bit of Microsoft. It's like, no, you have to be very sniper focused in what, I am a Java guy, but I also know 3-4 other ones. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Instead of going, I kind of dabble, and it's like kind of dabble in that, you're never going to get anywhere out there.
Right, and that's really where Grand Circus can go pretty deep, is that we've got specific courses designed around specific languages to achieve specific outcomes. And when you're talking about learning over a period of 10 weeks, 60 hours in class, which is only a fraction of the learning, you're going to be able to get those skills and be able to go pretty deep across different languages. And we're really excited about being able to teach the class, teach the materials, but also do part of what you guys are doing, which is connecting our students with the community, because getting a job isn't about...
No, that's our space. Screw you.
It's been nice talking with you guys.
Yeah. Speaking of which, when's your event, Brad?
I'm really glad you asked that, Bob. So our public open house is Friday. So right after you have the pink slip.
Wait, did you move it? I thought it was the same.
No, that's the private one that none of us got invited to.
Oh, you didn't invite us to that?
No, are you kidding me? We've heard all about you.
That's why we have shawarma at ours, because that's why you can't come.
That's right. I still didn't know that was a real thing. I thought that was just an Iron Man thing.
Buki shawarma is very real.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely real.
But Friday, we are having an open house at Grand Circus. So for those of you who might be curious about what's been happening in the building with a big whale on it, better known as the Broderick Tower in downtown Detroit, come check it out. We're going to have an open house from 11:30 to 6 on Friday. We mentioned Erica Carlson earlier. She's going to be...
we were told to come mock her.
Right. Please
By
do.
her.
Hecklers are encouraged.
Yes.
Wait a minute. It's my Oktoberfest. I can't go.
No, it's during the day.
Dude,
11:30 a.m. Not p.m.
Yeah, daytime, Bob. I know you'll burst into flame and everything, but it's during the day.
You mean have to wake up before 10?
I'm gonna have to, actually
We don't start till 11:30. You're safe.
I never thought I would say this. Stop drinking again.
One of the funniest things is we start all our calls in the morning. Or like I do like 3 calls in the morning that are at 8:30. And since we own WebEx now, everyone's on video, so I have to I'm coming.
It's like the Total Dilbert cartoon. You're like dressed from the waist up.
Yeah, absolutely. I got this nice dress shirt on, plaid shorts and sandals.
Shirt, tie, boxers.
Sink hair.
Shorts actually might be stretching it.
Right.
What was the
Underpants Fridays? They bring a whole new meaning.
Yeah, the Kentucky Fried movie. I'm naked from the waist down. Film at 11.
Exactly.
So I mean, but back, so what kind of classes do you have on the agenda and on the radar right now? Like, what are you signing people up for? What do you already have on the books? What are you already running with?
Right. So we teach classes across tech, business, and design. So those are the 3 big buckets of where we teach. So when we say tech, what do we mean? Well, we mean web and mobile development. So we have classes in iOS.
Okay.
We have classes in Android. We have classes in front-end development, which is called Build a Dynamic Website, which goes back to it's an outcome, not learning a skill.
So you're getting into like RWD, the whole responsive web design thing, and running with that as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a critical part of the dynamic website.
And when you say dynamic, are you like tying it to a CMS, or is it all homegrown, kind of do your own thing, like with JavaScript and jQuery type of things? Or
sure.
what?
Yeah, it's starting with HTML, CSS. That's
Okay.
the foundation of the class. Then it gets into some Java, jQuery. And as part of that class, we want to be able to include dynamic components. So how can you add a Twitter feed to the
okay,
website?
gotcha.
To make
So
sure
you're
it's
tying into other
constant?
services.
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's something that we're really excited about. We also have a digital marketing class. So I mentioned the business component.
Do you have a WordPress class so Jeff can take it? Just
really
nice. I had to go there. I'm sorry. Well,
is that why you're hitting my arm for the last 5 minutes?
Exactly. I was waiting for that one.
Well, believe it or not, the answer is yes. So we've got a 10-hour WordPress camp that Jeff has been jumping up and down with excitement. So that's
that I'm
great.
teaching or taking.
Apparently both.
Apparently both.
Hey, inside jokes work awesome on radio, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
great. Yeah.
No, this is going to so fall flat for you.
That's all right. Just edit it out, Dave.
There you go. So
You know I never will.
So, anyways.
So we talked a little bit about some of the tech offerings that we
Right.
have. Some of them are really attractive to small, medium businesses as well. So we mentioned the WordPress
Well, and that's
class.
a huge untapped market. I mean, and God, we've been saying this for 2 years now, that everybody focused forever out here on the big three. There are so many small to medium companies in that call it 99 people or less range, that are out there doing stuff. And, it's all because we've seen it with our group where, the evolution of our members and that kind of stuff. We've seen people that have gone through, okay, yeah, I was looking for a job and I finally said to heck with it. And I went ahead and I started my own thing. And, they came back to us, to network and get the word out about what they got going on. And now they're coming back looking for their first hire,
right.
or their second hire and that kind of thing. So, I mean, that's a huge market in this area, whether from a startup perspective or just, those established companies that are in that 99 and down range that are everywhere.
But and that's what's interesting is those people that are looking to hire that first person on their payroll is not a .NET developer. It's a front-end developer. It's a jQuery developer. It's a PHP developer.
Right, or someone who needs to be able to get
do a
business in the
WordPress
door.
site.
Right.
How can I market it?
I don't care what language it's in. Can you help me?
But that's it. It fills a huge niche because the traditional training to this day has been go to the classroom, get your cert, and you walk out, and then God knows what kind of experience you have. You know what I mean? So this is like almost taking it to the next level where like making it more real. Is that
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought up certification because we reject the hypothesis that developers need to have certifications in order to be successful.
Thank you.
So we're all about...
That's a 4-syllable word, hypothesis. Are we good with that?
Well, I guess we are now.
I don't know. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay, all right. I appreciate the free pass there.
See, I come from the network world, and it's kind of like if you don't have your cert, you're not even touching.
That's a fine line between software and hardware, though.
Absolutely.
You got to know your stuff when you're talking hardware, though. But anyways,
right. Well, we want to focus on helping people to learn how to learn. Right.
Awesome.
And when you think about Android or iOS, there's not really certifications out there that say, hey, I am an iOS developer. Well, no, it's, do you really know your stuff? Are you able to deliver
Have you
this?
done something?
And how do you prove that? So,
well, it gets back to the joke about the pull request, right? I mean, that the whole open source community is all about Git, right? You have to demonstrate what you've accomplished, what you've delivered, right? I mean, you're not going to show that on a resume. You're going to show that on, here, go here, this is what I've done, these are the tools that I've developed.
Look at my pull request.
Exactly.
Well, you're not going to show the hardware guy.
Mock, but it's true, sales guy.
I don't even know what that means.
Exactly. Mute his microphone, please.
And drink.
He knows. Brad knows what I'm talking about.
No, absolutely.
Wasn't that part of the IT and the drinking
I'm
game, by the way?
smelling what you're cooking.
Yeah, every time we mute Bob's mic, everybody
Someone
drinks.
drinks, yeah.
That's right. We'd all be done by now.
No, but I mean, so that's a good point. So I mean, it's now not only what you have on on the radar and on the agenda now, but I mean, so obviously, Automation Alley, is one of the companies that's taking an office in your building. So obviously, there's a hook there. What do you kind of have on your radar for coming up next? I mean, so everybody can go out to the website and see, and it's grandcircus.co.
That's correct. Yes.
And see what classes you have coming up and that kind of stuff. What's next? I mean, obviously you're moving to the cool new bigger and better space, and you've got I think I read that there were 10 other companies taking an office there. So what's next? I mean, what other kind of classes?
You just put the call there for a co-working space too.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of different components to Grand Circus. So when you're taking a step back, you think about the name Grand Circus. Well, you think about first Grand Circus Park, which
it's an
is
awesome name, by the way.
Very appropriate because we overlook beautiful downtown Detroit City Park, Grand Circus Park. You also think about Grand and Circus. Well, it gives you an image of something that's bigger than just what's inside these four walls in terms of being grand and being extraordinary, and that's really what we aim to be. And then you think about circus, there's a lot of things happening. Now
it's called the IT industry. One big circus. I get it.
Right, yeah. We're not necessarily endorsing animal cruelty.
Bob will never come there because he's afraid of clowns.
I am, definitely.
We're not on the first floor either, so he's got to go upstairs.
We are right on Woodward Avenue, so I have a great view of the Thanksgiving Day parade in Detroit. And
I hate parades worse than I hate clowns.
It's your own personal hell.
It is.
That's honestly, of all of the three of us to lose, Bob's the least consequential to you, so you're good.
All right, great.
Pretty much,
we can just move right along.
Yeah.
So there's a lot happening at Grand Circus. So we've talked a lot about the training, which is great. I mean, at our core, we are a modern training institute. But we also have co-working and we host events. So for co-working, as you mentioned, Dave, we've got about 10 companies or so, just under 50 desks. All the desks were designed and custom built by Chad Dickinson, gentleman who runs
lead singer for Iron Maiden.
Lead singer for Iron Maiden.
Dixon.
And,
sorry.
And he has his space at the Green Garage in Midtown, so just down the street.
Very cool.
He's great. And then for events, we've got a beautiful fourth floor, which can host events with 150, 200 people. We've got a lot of great events.
Hint, wink, wink.
We've got a hackathon coming up for Code Michigan. We're really excited about that. And a lot of other really exciting stuff in the works, some of which I can't talk about.
Well, Elise from Brightwing, reached out and just said, hey, we had a meeting with Brad. Have you guys ever thought about having an event there? And I'm like, yeah, we've kind of talked about it. Let's figure it out.
Get Atwater to bring the beer, and then we're good to go.
Have shawarma.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's right.
Some Buki shawarma and some Atwater. I think that'd be a great time.
Beautiful.
Iron Man again.
Let's set that up right now.
I think we're looking at January.
Done. Let's do it.
I like it.
So
how long of a? Let me ask you this: how long of a brainchild was this drumming up? Because I mean,
that's why I wanted to get.
I'm listening to this and I'm like, wow! I keep having these wow moments, and like this filling such a niche need, especially downtown. I mean, how long has this been stewing?
So we started this business in February. So the idea has been kicking around for a little bit, and so it's probably worthwhile talking a little bit about how Grand Circus is structured. So we are a Detroit Venture Partners portfolio company, and I like to say we're pretty unique in terms of how we are set up, right? So my co-founder Damian Rocky and myself, we came together in February. We hadn't met each other. We were brought together through Detroit Venture Partners, and they had the
like an arranged marriage.
Well, I mean, was it your brainchild and you said, hey, I have this great idea, and they said, well, here's a great guy that you could partner with that you might have chemistry? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so the way it worked is Detroit Venture Partners had this idea, right? Because they recognize there's so many different startups, and again, small, medium businesses and enterprises that have a demand for talent. That, well, shouldn't we be doing something about this, right? We're a venture capital firm playing in this area. Feels like we should do something about it. So this idea had been permeating for some period of time, and just through connections, Damien was brought to Detroit Venture Partners. He'd done some work with a few companies. I had been introduced to them. I was living in Chicago at the time. We were brought together. The stars sort of aligned, and we were off to the races starting in February.
That's a short time. I mean, that's a lot. A lot has happened between then and now.
Yeah, we're really excited.
When will then be now?
Yeah, exactly.
Soon.
Yeah, so we have we're launching this week. So the space inside the Broderick Tower will be all built out. Our classes are starting at the end of the month. I believe our first class starts September 25th, and our detailed courses start on the 30th of September. So there's still a couple of weeks, still an opportunity for folks who are really trying to differentiate themselves and improve their career.
Yeah, so last question before we hit the break real quick. Like, big thing right now is a lot of companies are paying for like EMR training, and guys are walking out with like HIT certs. Are you, if someone approaches you with that, are you taking that on, or are you still trying to stay, I guess, organic to what your core beliefs are?
Sure. So we absolutely take on custom training, but that custom training would have to be around some of the areas that we're really excited about, which is, again, tech, business, design, and inside of tech.
Sure.
It's going to be more around cutting edge languages or processes. So we have an agile class, for instance, which is something that a lot of corporations are really excited about.
That's a buzzword right now.
I don't think we would go too far astray from that at this point in time. But we obviously are here to help solve the issues in the IT arena and help to continue to add skills to the talent that's in the area.
Cool. Well, hey, we're up against a break. This is the IT and the D show.
We'll be right back.
See you guys in the emergency room, huh?
Hello, pretty lady. Tell me something. What's a beautiful broad like you doing with a malaka like this, huh?
It's purely sexual.
Hey, son.
She's into malakas, Dino.
She's into malacas. Do you believe that? You can say that again.
When does this happen in the movie? Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now. What happened to then? Past then. When? Just now. We're at now. Go back to then. When? Now. Now? Now. I can't. Why? We missed it. When? Just now. When will then be now?
Soon.
And we're back.
We are back, the IT and the D show, Raw Radio X, Russell Industrial Center. We are actually live today. We've been gone for about a month. No electric problems. No random sport.
No escaped convicts.
No Hollywood movies filming in the parking lot.
Don't jinx us.
Right.
It's actually not raining.
The show is not over yet.
Just goes to show you how confused the universe is.
I'm drinking again.
And all is back to normal.
Yeah.
It's like episode 1 all over again.
Right.
So yeah, we've been talking to Brad for a while from Grand Circus. We also got Jay in the studio from Ann Arbor Give Camp.
I thought about changing the name to Gift Camp. I can't, but I thought about it because so many people say Gift Camp.
Oh, just reserve both names. That way, redirect one to the other.
If we had $1 for every time somebody called us Detroit.net,
good God,
we wouldn't need sponsors.
We wouldn't be working ever again.
That's right.
Yes, I know how you feel.
And that squatter still wants what, $10K for that? $15K?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even want to talk.
Let's
about
just
that.
go Tanya Hardingham and be done with it.
It's from New Jersey, the registrar.
I got family in Jersey.
Hey, Big Tony.
All right, so tell us about Ann Arbor Gift Camp, Jay. I mean, what's the scoop? It's coming up this Saturday.
It's all weekend. It is all weekend.
Okay.
It starts on Friday and goes through Sunday itself. So think of it as a weekend-long Coding for Charity event.
So just like a whole like hardcore old school
Geek fest.
Jolt Cola and Cheetos. We're staying up all night coding kind of thing.
Back in the day, it used to be that way. It used to be the crazy, insane death.
Now we're all in our late 30s and early 40s.
Now we're too old for that, yes.
Back in the days, like, is this? So this is not a new thing.
Oh no! This started in 2007. The first Ann Arbor one was 2008.
Okay.
So this will be what our sixth event.
So wait, hold on.
I don't know,
Let's take a
math
step.
aside.
Coding, like layman's terms. I'm the sales guy, right? Coding for charity.
Coding.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Go in my head like it's like a big tornado.
So like
going
the
on.
first one to do a complete web app gets.
So we focus on local.
No, so here's what happens: 501c3s or charitable organizations come to these guys. Yeah, local ones come to these guys and say, "Hey, look, we need apps. We don't have a budget. We need people to actually write these apps for
so
us."
This is this is the 99 designs of coding.
Absolutely.
Hey now.
Now I get. Now I get it.
Wait a minute. Back up. Okay. So
No
take some of
offense.
these local charities.
You pay 99 designs.
That's true. That's true. So we're not helping organizations like the Red Cross that have a gajillion dollars for their annual.
So
budget.
wait, we're a 501c3. We need a logo.
So obviously, web developers we're expensive bastards.
Yes.
We cost
That's right.
a lot of
We're
money.
easy. We're not cheap.
If only we could convince clients of that fact.
Yes. So it's tough when we have a local nonprofit whose annual budget is $50,000 to spend 20% of that on a professional looking website. So these nonprofits, they end up with a website that looks like it was made by the neighbor kid next door.
Which it might have been.
In their basement. Yeah.
He read Teach Yourself HTML in 24 hours, and he's awesome.
In 2002.
Yes.
Like Jeff's WordPress sites.
Well, yes.
Right.
I mean, I took a look at right. God. Dog bone film at 11.
I would love to see you code a WordPress site.
It would all be done in MS Paint, and it would be horrific.
Hey, we say if you're coding a WordPress site, you're doing it wrong.
So,
Wow.
And that makes sense because there's so many great themes and customizations you don't even need to do it.
Fantastic ecosystem out there.
The gloves
for all
are
the
off.
Themes and the plugins.
This is Thunderdome now.
Yes.
It is, yes.
And
in this corner.
All right, go.
So yeah, we don't spend any other time on that nonsense on coding from scratch. I mean, unlike some of the other the great conferences that we have in the area that are learning opportunities for local developers, this is not a learning opportunity. This is not something where you're going to find some sexy new whiz bang technology and get to play with it all week long. It's come due. It's use your technology. I mean, yes, because we still go program grandma's VCR, and she appreciates it to the end of the world.
Well, I'm envisioning that scene from The Social Network where they're trying to find the new developer hire. Did you see the movie where they got three guys trying to code their way out of a box, and every time they finish a certain segment of the program, they have to do a shot. And the first person to finish is done.
There's no
and don't even come to the party unless you know what you're doing.
See, I was thinking the scene from Swordfish where you had to hack into the website.
Same type of thing.
No,
Not like that. I'm not going to Ann Arbor.
He said the magic words, no alcohol. Yeah. Shut his mic off.
Some of my best code was written. Well, no, so
it works. I have no idea why.
Exactly, that's the problem. No, so some of the notes that we're throwing back and forth. I mean, you guys aren't just looking for coders. I mean, you need analysts, you need architects, you need marketing people, you need graphics people, you need
no QA people.
You don't need salespeople.
Hey, H-Bomb is coming.
H-Bomb is coming.
H-Bomb is coming.
Wow.
She's going to be QA.
She's going to be QAing.
There's an isolated drop right there because they. No, I mean that's well, you do. I mean, you've got all these random people that are in there writing code. You're gonna want somebody to test it before you hand it over to somebody to go live. Yeah,
right. We want graphic designers so that it looks attractive. We want people that are experts in marketing.
Can we have a logo?
It's
this weekend. We need logo.
We do need a logo. Can you get that done by Wednesday night?
You missed the boat. We had a call for proposals that was open.
We have 2 cans of PBR towels and 2 Slim Jims. You can't make it happen.
Jake can work magic, but there's limitations.
So, that's a good question. So, it's Friday night through Sunday?
Through Sunday, yes.
And it's
at Washtenaw Community College, right across the street from St. Joe's.
Okay.
They got to register, or what's? How do they get involved?
There's an Eventbrite site. You can just go to AnnArborGiveCamp.org.
Give the V.
Wait.
Who owns it, Chiefs?
So I'm a seasoned PHP developer. I want to go to this thing. I show up and I want to give back to the community. This is a way to give my skill set to help an organization get a website, get an app. Is that what this is all about? Type of
Yes,
thing?
absolutely.
Okay.
So far
We
we
need a
have
website,
about 50 volunteers for the weekend, and we have 7 nonprofits that have signed up. Well,
So
we had
from their-
11 that have signed up. We have 7 that we have accepted because we can only, we're not going to spread the project teams too thin.
Right.
How many?
Then we wouldn't get anything done.
So are you assigning based on skill level, based on their needs? Like, how does that work? Like, how are you matching up?
We do. We try to go based on the needs. Most of the nonprofits that sign up, they're just looking for a website. I mean, they're not even that far along where they have a website. They have the neighbor kid next door's website.
I registered a domain. Now what do I do?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Do you have some examples of some of the nonprofits?
Or can you say?
That have signed up for this year?
Yeah.
Let's see. We have the Michigan Childhood Cancer Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Children's Literacy Network. We have the Bryan Project, which is a nonviolence organization. There's lots of great groups.
So if we would have submitted, you would have laughed at us, basically.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you have a LinkedIn group full of 4,500 nerds. Find someone who can do it for you.
That's the bad
If
part.
only we knew a graphics designer.
Right, if only we knew someone. That
Wait,
could,
we helped you find 4 jobs. Can you just do this? No.
Well, aren't you the one that always preaches the whole, Joker? If you do something well, never do it for free.
Point taken.
So, I mean, what should people expect? Because are you still accepting volunteers? I mean,
We absolutely accept volunteers all the way up until the event kicks off on Friday itself.
Okay.
And the more volunteers that we get, the more nonprofits that we can accept.
And what do you need where are your big need areas now?
So our biggest need is always graphics designers.
Okay.
We always need the folks that I say make it pretty. That make it,
Right, give it the polish.
Give it the polish. Give it the sexy. Give it the really attractiveness. But we need anybody.
So are
everybody.
those front end developers or pure play graphic designers?
Yes. Both. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, got it. Both are welcome.
Yes, absolutely. But we pretty much go with the rule that every time we get another 6 volunteers, we can take on another nonprofit organization.
Gotcha.
So we had 11 proposals that were submitted. We have brought on board 7 so far as of this afternoon. And if more people sign up, then the other ones are on standby.
And they can just hit AnnArborGiveCamp.org.
AnnArborGiveCamp.org.
And they can sign up.
From there, there's a link to the Eventbrite site from there, and they go through the registration process. I mean, there's a little bit of a form they got to fill out on Eventbrite, but things like assessing that they're.
Well, I mean,
but it's things like assessing assessing their skill sets so that we can place them.
That's what I was going to ask you. So there's 2 questions. So you're never going to turn a volunteer away.
Oh, no.
Depending on so if you got
we've it's not uncommon for us to get high school students. So we have people coming up to us all the time saying, "Hey, I'm just in college, or I'm a green developer. Do I really have enough experience?"
I'm awesome in MS
So that
Paint.
relates to
Can you
my
help?
second question. So if you've got a need for 50 PHP developers and you've got 49 of them, and you need that 50th to get that another nonprofit to satisfy whatever need that they have, and that 50th one comes in and they're a high school student and they're not confident enough, so you're going to give them some sort of aptitude test, like some sort of litmus test. You're not going to get somebody that's just read teach yourself PHP in 21 days and say you're a member of this team now.
Well,
right?
But you've got project teams. I mean, it's not like you're cutting people loose on their own. You're going to have them with other developers that are kind of looking over their shoulder and that kind of.
So somebody that is learning to cut their teeth could be using this as an experience to gain that experience.
Oh yeah, it's not only a great experience thing. It's a great networking opportunity. I mean, we've been talking about this stuff coming up on Thursday, but at the end of the day, really, that's just an opportunity to chat with one another. A lot of these networking events, we don't have a great opportunity to really sit down and code with one another. We never really have a way to sit down and assess each other's
Pair
chops.
programming is huge.
Yeah.
But here with GiveCamp, we're sitting next to each other for a weekend. learning about each other, learning about what each other can do.
You make it sound
assessing
like
each other's chops.
well, you make it sound like they're sequestered. Like you may not leave. Here's your Domino's pizza. Come out with a website.
That's right. Bring your sleeping bag. Bring your pillow.
Right. Isn't that how we treat IT developers anyway?
Yeah, you go down
Here's
into the
your
dungeon.
room. Here's your Red Bull. Come when
No windows.
And to some
no escape.
some extent, there is some of that because so the entire event is, like I said, it's held at Washtenaw Community College. They're great guys over there. They donate the space. We take over the business education building every year.
Very
the
cool.
whole thing. We have pretty much all of the classrooms in the business education building. One of those will be completely emptied of all of the furniture in the entire room, and is a dedicated sleeping room. And now it's not a crazy death march where people are sitting there coding for 48 hours.
But they could if they wanted to, right?
They could if they wanted
It's like
to.
Occupy, but coding.
Actually, with a purpose, though.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure there won't be signs.
Oh, no bongos?
Right, no. There may be bongos. It is Ann Arbor.
There's probably going to be a tent or two.
So there's plenty of people that do their best coding at 2 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock
Absolutely.
in the morning. So
No, from the 501c3 point of view, you're not. When they come in and say, "Okay, I need a website," you're not going to say, turn somebody away that is looking for a brochure site. But if you're going to turn somebody away that's looking for an in-depth membership system with a, paywall and all that type of thing,
it does have to be scoped to fit in a weekend. When we're talking about project teams that are really about 6 to 8 or so developers, and it's not a crazy death march of 48 hours of straight coding. And even if it was, you're not going to be
There's
that
still only
effective
so much you
after
can do.
about
Right.
20,
Yeah,
maybe
the law
30 hours.
of diminishing returns.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
The 24-hour rule.
yeah.
So
exactly.
the organizing team, we've been working for quite a few months figuring out who these nonprofits are going to be. We talk to them all ahead of time so that we can figure out what the scope is, figure out what the requirements are so that it's an appropriate fit for the weekend.
See, and I was actually going to ask that question. So, I mean, are any of them going to be on hand? So, as people are going through this dev process, if there's a
who's going to QA it?
Well, no, not even from a
Are you
QA
talking
perspective.
about the nonprofits being
Yeah,
on
exactly. Just from a
Oh,
question,
absolutely.
Like,
So-
hey, look, what did you mean by eh?
So
I didn't like that gradient.
Yeah, I meant a different kind of blue.
That's
we
actually
want
a
Comic
requirement.
Sans font.
We just go back to the
Yeah, I'll know it when I see it.
That's actually
Something
a
I would
requirement
say.
of the vetting
Exactly.
process.
Is they have to be on hand.
They have
Very
to be
cool.
on hand because it's building out a website. Even one of these simple brochureware
Trust me, I
websites
know.
for a consulting firm, it's going to take a couple of weeks to
Yep.
build out one of these
Yep.
websites, and
Yeah.
we're compressing that timeline into 2 days. We can't wait around leave someone a voicemail and they might call us back in a couple hours.
Hey, let me
Right.
give you a little hint. TemplateMonster.com. Go.
No, don't.
Sorry.
Mute his microphone.
And that's 2. Drake.
That's request number 2.
So not only is it that the nonprofits have to be on hand for the weekend, but they have to be. Well, we say in Buzzword Bingo that they have to be empowered to make the decisions. So
The decision
a lot
maker, I need to take this back to committee. I'll be right back with you.
Right, there's no committees involved.
We don't
Lots
have
of these
time to discuss this in committee.
Lots
of
now
these
shaking as a
organizations
sales guy.
they have.
Oh, yeah.
They have executive boards that are used to making this decision process, but we still say, hey, the executive board has to empower whomever the representative is
Gibberish
because
to me.
this stuff just goes through Sunday afternoon.
Right.
We can't wait for Monday morning for the executive board to start reviewing it, and they take a couple of days, which is inevitably, this isn't really quite the right color.
We were
blue.
thinking a different shade of
Well, do you
blue.
let-
yeah.
do you
Yeah,
let-
what happens in that though?
But-
like the guy, what if the nonprofit goes, "This completely sucks."
If they think that it completely sucks, we don't flip the switch. If
Okay.
they think
Well,
that
that's
it's
what I was
awesome,
going to ask. I
we
mean,
flip the switch.
Does each team act organically? Like, some teams might, say, give a section of code for review every half an hour. Another one might hold everything back until Sunday afternoon. Like, how do you is there a certain guidelines that you have them each follow?
It is not competitive in any way. It is.
Well, I mean, not necessarily
everybody's
competitive, but
split into their individual teams so that they can focus on a specific project. But it is very collaborative. Like we were talking about the designers earlier. We always have a shortage of graphics designers. So the graphics designers are very much floating from team to team to team to team,
Right.
helping out as needed. So
Well,
we want
that's not a solid state skill set that you need all throughout the course of the life of your project. You need them for
design it, throw it over
X
the
amount
wall.
of time. Done. We need image. We need menu button, go. And that might take them 3 hours. So yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Right, exactly.
Do you get any repeat customers from nonprofits?
Actually, we do. We have no restrictions on what the nonprofits are that can submit a proposal. If you were a participant last year, go ahead and submit again this year. We've had a couple of times where we've had repeating nonprofits, even nonprofits that have participated in the previous year.
Huh. So, so from a volunteer standpoint,
what's in it for them?
It's easy what's in it for them. They get something they can point to and say they did. But I mean, so what do I expect walking in? Like, I mean, am I supposed to show up with my sleeping bag, my pillow, and are people bringing us food? Is it, what do I expect if I'm volunteering my time and I'm going to A, do I have to hang there all weekend? And B, what goes on over the course of that weekend?
So, I guess the only expectation really is that you bring a laptop. I guess if you really want to bring a desktop and set that up, you can do that too. But really,
everyone will point and laugh.
Yeah, you'll be frowned upon.
Yes, bring a laptop.
This is not a LAN party to play Doom.
Yes.
I'm out.
Give Camp's
Skyrim, I should say.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons.
You were out at helping others.
Hey.
Give Camp provides all of the food throughout the weekend.
Cool.
So
very nice.
Every meal, all the Monster or pop or water or even milk. Surprisingly, even milk. We went through about 8 gallons of milk.
Really? Chocolate milk?
Just regular wine milk.
Strawberry?
We went through 8 gallons of milk through Give Camp last year. You never would have thought.
Wow.
Disgusting.
We went through more milk.
Grown
than
adults
we went
drinking
through
milk?
Monster.
But no drinking. No beer, no alcohol.
No alcohol. No. And the essential thing is we want to do everything to get.
Well, I mean, if you just got high school kids showing up, I mean,
card them.
It's Ann Arbor. There's weed.
Oh,
no, there's none of that either.
Yeah, none of that either. Beep.
So so they hang out all weekend, and I mean, and it's is this? I guess that's a good point. Is this something they can put on their resume? Is this something hey, I was part of Give Camp that built this company or this organization's website?
Yeah, what's the intellectual property there?
So that's another interesting point. One of our sponsors, one of our partners, is a law firm that was out in Grand Rapids. They wrote up all of the legalese.
Very cool.
For Ann Arbor Give Camp. Officially, the volunteers still own the intellectual property, and they give a full, perpetual, endless, royalty-free license to everything they write to Give Camp. And not to the nonprofits, to Give Camp.
To Give Camp, that then in turn puts it over.
Turns it over to all of the nonprofits. Because and it's assigned to Give Camp because, let's say we are writing a custom module for WordPress. Give Camp wants to be able to reuse that for later years.
I mean, that's the whole point of the GPL. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, otherwise you'd be in violation of all that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, so very cool. Okay, so you need graphic designers, hard and heavy.
We need everybody.
But you also need, so you need, developers. I mean, are there any... we've talked about PHP. Are there any other particular skill sets or anything? Because and here's the thing. I mean, cards on table. I'm trying to keep. I'm starting to Rolodex away in the back of my head. Who do I need to send your way? And that's what I'm trying to think through.
So a couple of things of that. I mean, you mentioned PHP, but what about the infamous .NET developer? So years ago, Give Camp's past, Ghost of Give Camp past, we used to do a lot of .NET Nuke sites.
Gotcha.
But we found out that the DNN sites were selected because they were .NET developers, and I have to write on the .NET.
But it's tough for some people.
There have been a few cases where people.
I'm sure you have the 3 a.m. flare up. That's
and really, at the end of the day, that's my role.
Yeah,
because I'm not going to be a part of any team. I just sit there as the robot overlord.
Flex your muscles and make sure you know.
So what's your background? Are you a developer as well? I mean, can you look over somebody's shoulder and say you're doing it wrong?
Yes, right? I do have a background in development, but and part of that is part of me purposefully not being a part of any team is that I can play the bad guy if needed, whether that be an issue with the nonprofit or that be an issue with the volunteer.
I have brought you to this table
for
a sit down among the families.
Exactly.
I'm gonna make you an offer.
Right. It is my decision that will be binding.
Now to go back to the other technical talents that you need. I mean, not just PHP developers and .NET developers. We love having recruiters come be a part of Ann Arbor Give Camp.
What are you looking at Brad for? He's not a...
The business folk. I mean, those are listed. We have those listed on the Eventbrite site as business volunteers.
So what are the...
So yeah, but what would the role be? I mean, what's...
So focusing in marketing, focusing in being experts in social media, not from a how to use Twitter, but
being
how to
that
use
client tester.
Speaking of
how to
use Twitter from a marketing perspective.
Speaking of Twitter, Erica just hit us up on Twitter saying we're happy to do that. We're back on the air, so thank you, Erica.
Yeah, thank you, Erica. Well, I mean, but you bring up a good point. I mean, you wouldn't. The last thing you want is a bunch of hardcore developers that don't know a thing about best practices or UX to code a site for business that may not know any better to call BS on it,
or they don't know anything about business.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, so you're
That's why I'm here.
delivering a site. So that's what their role would be, right? So is there one of those people per team to say no that that button shouldn't be there because it's not going to be good for ROI type of thing?
We try to. Obviously, of course, Give Camp is subject to whom actually goes to the Eventbrite site and signs up.
Right.
But if possible, yes. So that we can get some,
but that's
some
not your
technical
job either.
perspective, get some creative perspective, get some business perspective to every team. Because really, this is all about growing the nonprofits, getting their word out, so that they can help, more people have a bigger budget.
Cool. No, great efforts. Hey, we're up on a break. This is the IT and the D show. Segment 4. We're going to come back. We're going to reel Brad back in because I think he's falling asleep over there, and we'll see you guys.
Mr. Vernon. We accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. And you see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms.
Per team to say no that that button shouldn't be there because it's not going to be good for ROI type of thing.
We try to. Obviously, of course, Give Camp is subject to whom actually goes to the Eventbrite site and signs up.
Right.
But if possible, yes. So that we can get some,
but that's
some
not your
technical
job either.
perspective, get some creative perspective, get some business perspective to every team. Because really, this is all about growing the nonprofits, getting their word out, so that they can help, more people have a bigger budget.
Cool. No, great efforts. Hey, we're up on a break. This is the IT and the D show. Segment 4. We're going to come back. We're going to reel Brad back in because I think he's falling asleep over there, and we'll see you guys in a few.
Mr. Vernon. We accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. And you see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms, with the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain.
And an athlete.
And a basket case. A princess.
And a criminal.
Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.
Are you okay?
I think so. Boy, who knows what else is in this swamp?
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Not now.
Okay.
Now. Okay. We're back. IT and the D show, Raw Radio X Studios, Russell Industrial Center, beautiful Midtown, Michigan. This is the IT and the D show. This is Bob the Sales Guy. We are joined, as always,
Midtown, Michigan.
Midtown, Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
With don't mock me. With Dave the Geek, Jeff the voice of lunacy, and we got Brad here from Grand Circus. We got Jay here from Ann Arbor Give Camp, and we're having a ball today, talking about the Pig Slip Party, talking about what Brad's doing at Grand Circus, talking about this awesome nonprofit coding event going on in Ann Arbor this weekend.
Yes, I mean, as always, I mean, our
talking about the Holy Week this week for me.
Right, and that Bob's drinking again. No, so I mean, our fourth segment is always, we want to double back and make sure we hit on everything. So I mean, so we've talked about, the first segment we talked about our pink slip party. Obviously, all the news and information and updates on that are out on our website at DetroitNet.org. You can also
not Detroit.net.
Yeah, exactly. You can also hit that at itandthed.com.
That one still works, right?
Exactly.
DetroitNet.org.
Detroit Net.
Well, and that's yeah, exactly. Michipreneur.
I registered at 01, and this is the story. Like I said, networking Detroit, like a Detroit. I wanted it to
Are you still talking?
Yeah, I am. But like Detroit,
which is why DetroitNetworking.com also go to us, because Captain Sales Guy over there doesn't think about implementation.
Captain Sales.
Detroit Networking Organization, DetroitNet.org. I thought it was good.
Now he's a domain junkie.
I am not. I have
yes,
3.
you are.
We're picking up what you're putting
100.
down. Right.
No, you've got way more than I do.
What did you do to me an hour ago? You knocked me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, look at this." You got domain GoDaddy up on your phone.
I do. You started it.
Danica Patrick, though?
That too.
Yeah,
so,
right.
yeah, I mean, everything about our Thursday event at St. Andrews Hall is out on DetroitNet.org or itandthed.com. Everything you want to find out on Grand Circus is out at grandcircus.co. Everything about Ann Arbor Give Camp is out at annarborgivecamp.org. Give with a V. Who owned the Chiefs?
Owns.
Right. Owns. What do you say? Owns. No, but so, a couple of the last things we wanted to talk.
Shot. Sorry.
Did you have to explain that?
He looked at me funny. So
hey, I'm a hockey guy. I love it.
All right.
No, so I mean, a couple of things we wanted to circle back and just make sure that we got it in the mix here. So Brad, from a Grand Circus perspective, I mean, you've got the the New Horizons, you've got all these other organizations out there that are doing training. Why Grand Circus? I mean, what differentiates you guys?
Oh, you give them a softball.
Who's doing the training? That kind of stuff.
He hits it out of the puck.
Yeah, it feels like a fastball.
I basically put that one on a T for him. If he doesn't kill this, we got an issue.
Yeah, right.
Give him another PBR.
Yeah, here you go. So, I mean, we're different across a number of ways. I think we got a chance earlier to talk a bit about how we're focused on outcomes. That's something that's really important. The second thing I'd really want to focus on is the fact that our instructors are active practitioners in the field. So they're the ones that are leading the way. They're not folks who've been doing something in theory for a long period of time, but there's people that are our instructors are actual people that are thought leaders. So
it's not like the old adage of those who can't do teach.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's, that's the biggest issue you run into is you've got so many people that
people teaching sales classes that haven't taught in 15 or haven't sold in 15 years.
Exactly. I mean, they get in the academic world and they
sounds like all my Wayne State instructors.
Yeah, I mean, they stick in academia because the real world scares them and rejects them.
Sure. I mean, we think it's important to move really fast and to be up to date. So, for instance, one of the original investors or at least early stage investors in Google is teaching her how to create a business plan. A gentleman by the name of Terry Cross.
Cool.
Very cool.
We start to talk about one of the lead designers for Adobe. Well, they're teaching the design process class from print to digital, so to help folks evolve.
I suddenly don't want to volunteer to teach a class because.
Well, you bring up a good point. I mean, did you have like a call for teachers? Like, how do you vet? Like, what's that process?
Right. So we spent literally months trying to find who are the right instructors to lead Grand Circus, and now we actually have the opposite problem, which is wonderful. Is that we have a ton of amazing instructors reaching out to us, and we want to engage with them. We want to find the right courses for them to be able to teach, but it's really art and science, right? So we've spent a lot of time talking with folks in the tech community, in the startup world, trying to understand who are the people that are really thought leaders, and we're fortunate enough to have attracted a lot of those folks.
Notice they never reach out to us. We must be really low on the totem pole.
We're the pariahs of the IT industry. We know this and we accept this.
I'm fine with that.
No, so I mean, but that's kind of a good question. We talked about all the open recs that are out there and that kind of stuff. I mean, are you talking with companies that are out there looking to fill specific needs? Are you talking to the MEDCs of the world? Where I mean, and it blows my mind that people don't know this. I mean, there are grants and all this kind of stuff out there that will pay for current employees to go through training. It will pay for their training. It will pay for like 80% of their salary while they're at the training, and off they go. I mean, so, are you guys, hooking into that world? Or, I mean, hell, can we introduce you to anybody that might be able to?
Well, what about the No Worker Left Behind grants was huge.
Yeah, but that was like 3 years ago, yeah.
Does it still exist, or is that gone?
Yeah, there's a lot of great opportunities with the MEDC. So we're connected with the MEDC. There's a long process, as you might expect, to be able to become a licensed school, which is something that we're happy to have gone through. It took us a period of time, so we're now there. We're in active
we got
discussions.
17 pages of documentation just to use their logo when they wanted to sponsor us. So.
Right. So we're there. We're in a great spot, and we're excited about a number of the programs that are available to us now, and we're actively talking with them about the Trade Adjustment Act, for instance.
Very cool.
So
I find it humorous that he says, it took a long time to do this, it took a long time to do that, and he says he started this in February and it's now September.
We're a startup. We got to move quickly.
That's right. In internet years, that's like a lifetime.
That was like the drastic period.
Right.
It's like talking about David Goes to the Dentist on YouTube time. And talking about that today. That was really old.
I'm just bringing it all in perspective here.
Jeff, what question you were talking about? We're on Breaker. Like, how does a guy from Chicago get hooked up with Detroit venture partners to
that
start
was the exact question. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a native Michigander, grew up in Grand Rapids,
right,
and always considered Michigan home. When I came to Detroit recently, the energy down here was just so exciting. I mean, seeing all the great things that are happening, and even since I've been down here, and again, it's been since February, Detroit tech scene has evolved from having the Madison, which is a great building, to having the Madison. Next door is Grand Circus and the Broderick Tower. We've got a number of great tech startups. Next door to that is Bizdom, who has their own space now, which is a tech accelerator. Next to them is Detroit Labs, which has 40 to 50 mobile developers.
Well, yeah, because they just outgrew the Madison and went to their own space as well.
I saw a Crane's list of like the top 20 mobile developers in the city. I think I recognized the first one or two, then the rest of them were just I had no idea who they were.
Yeah, right.
Which is saying something.
It's a great problem, right?
It is.
Yeah, there's so much activity and excitement that's happening downtown in that tech space. And I got connected with the Detroit Venture Partners, met the right people, had a chance to talk about what my vision was for Grand Circus, matched up very well with what they were trying to do and what my co-founder Damian Rocky's trying to do, and we're off to the races. And we've had a lot of great things happen so far. We're really excited to be bringing Automation Alley downtown. So Automation Alley, as was mentioned earlier, they now have a space with Grand Circus in downtown Detroit.
They've always been traditionally Oakland County. So,
so how does that work? Are they actually going to have a semi-permanent office, quote unquote, in your facility? Or
they will have staff at our facility full time. So Jenna, can't wait to have you downtown Detroit, Automation Alley. We're really excited to.
But you
have
can't
you guys.
wait for the 75 South traffic to start.
Yeah, right.
That's right. So that's why you need to live in downtown or very close.
Yeah, I mean that's the downside of all the cool things happening downtown is 75 South sucks now.
It's like 1999 all over again.
Right. There was a great time where you drive around there like there's no traffic. This is great.
Yep.
Now I was looking at my Facebook feed like Hall Road, something was going on to one lane and everyone was stuck for like over an hour.
I must have had like 6 different friends that were posting like photos of being stuck in traffic on 75 this morning. They were like, yeah,
I heard all about it. So fortunately, there's some solutions to this, right? The M1 rail is coming, which isn't quite going to solve all of our problems.
Wait, you still got to drive downtown.
Yes,
it's a start.
It doesn't go to Pontiac; it just goes to 6 miles.
So let me ask you guys this: there's rumblings of this Ann Arbor to Detroit train happening, and this has been happening for
that will
years
never
and
happen.
years and years. What do we think?
That will never happen.
Just
Dave,
the
do we
same
have
as
a
they've
hint
been
of
talking
optimism
about
from you?
Ann Arbor to Brighton train forever.
That'll
as
happen
well.
when I become a vegetarian.
As soon as all the automotive companies move to Tennessee, that'll happen.
Well, I mean, and it is. I mean, for me, like I lived in and we're out here from Chicago. I lived in D.C. I lived in New York. I lived in Boston. This is the first metropolitan area that I've ever lived in that had
zero,
really no mass transit system whatsoever.
We have Uber,
Well, yeah, the car will come pick you up and shoot you the cute little picture of the driver
For
but that's
$80.
right? But I mean, it is kind of weird. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this all goes because
Right.
you've got DVP and Gilbert and company that are basically incentivizing the crap out of people to move downtown and and do their and take
But
jobs
that light rail
downtown.
starts where we are now and goes to the Renson.
Well, we were talking about it on the way over here.
8 Mile and Woodward?
New Center
No, it's-
South.
Yeah. It starts in Wayne State. It starts in Warren Ave,
All it
where
is,
we are.
it's just a small extension of the People Mover. That's about it.
It's north of 94, so
That's
it is
even
a
more
new center.
useless than I thought
That's
it
what I
was.
told you. That's why.
Well, it'll connect Midtown and downtown, so I think that's positive.
If
So
it went over,
it's a start.
If it went all the way to the
But again,
Meijer,
it's like
I
we were
could-
joking about, taking all the puzzle pieces of the hot parts of Detroit and putting them together.
right,
You know.
exactly.
Well, but I mean that's
the biggest part of
that's what I've
problem
always
with
told
Detroit.
friends back in DC is yes, Detroit the Metro Detroit area has all the cool stuff that DC does, that Boston does,
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. The only
They're
key
just spread
difference
apart
there's
by
no
17
district.
blocks.
the only key difference is you're gonna drive 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes to get to them. That's the
If
issue.
there's no traffic, 5,
Yeah.
10, 15,
And where the
20
hell are you going to park once you're there?
Well, yeah, there's no.
Actually, the new thing is what Dave and I went to the Tiger game, and we couldn't cross the street because there was like 15 guys on like 1970s 10 speeds going to whatever bar in Cass Corner. I'm like, is this a thing now?
The little bike rental
Yeah,
thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, the bike rental thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, and they have
it's a
their
thing
little
now.
card swipers on the back that I'm surprised haven't gotten jacked yet.
We're like, can't cross the road yet. Here's another 10 speed and another one and another one. We're like, what's this, Hills Angels? What I mean,
The interesting
Schwinn's
thing,
Angels.
It's like you don't want to be called a scab for crossing a strike line.
I tell you.
downtown now, you can't find a place to live. The occupancy rate is over 99% in downtown
But
Detroit.
yet they have
Really?
20,000 houses that need to be demolished. Yeah, it's
Well, that's in Detroit, but not in
Right.
downtown
Oh,
Detroit,
point taken,
right?
all right.
So in downtown, it's crazy the amount of demand, and like the Broderick Tower where we're located, it's residential for 25, 30 stories above us.
I looked up on
and 100%
Realtor.com,
occupied.
Detroit, and like whatever the top dollar ones. There's lofts, 2,000 square foot lofts going for $600,000.
Do you have any idea what the demographics of that is by any chance? I mean, like, just curiosity.
Hipster.
Like, I mean, no, that Broderick
Hipsters
I
don't
wouldn't
have
say so.
$600,000.
No, the Broderick
No,
Tower.
pointing.
No, the Broderick Tower. Yeah.
That's why it's still for sale.
So
Wait,
I don't
see,
have
this was-
facts, but I can share, anecdotally. So
Right.
having spent the last 7 years in Chicago,
If you haven't figured, we really don't deal in facts.
No, I'm not.
lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Right.
right?
Right,
So-
yeah.
Exactly.
So,
44% of them are all false.
That's right. 87% of all statistics are made up right on the spot. That's right.
But what I will say, from having spent a lot of time in the Broderick Tower, as you'd expect, is that it's a diverse set of people that live there that mirrors what I've seen in other urban environments. So, I think it's good progress. I think there's a long way to go, obviously, but it's a heck of a start.
Just without the $60 a square foot price tag.
That's right.
Well, but I mean, and here's a good question. I mean, as someone who's kind of putting their name on the line with something that's happening downtown, does the bankruptcy concern you? Does all the stuff going on with the EM and all that fun happy hoo-ha and all the shenanigans with the election? I mean, how does that, you as a business owner, what is, kind of what's your take on that? Because I mean, we always get the whole, hey, you guys are from the suburbs, meh.
Right.
But I mean, you're down in the thick of it. I mean, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I have great sympathy for all the folks whose pensions are at risk and concerns there in terms of their livelihoods and what are they going to do going forward, and those are very legitimate concerns.
That's happened with so many
for-
of the private sector, though, for so many years, too.
No doubt
GM
about it.
and, yeah.
No doubt about it. From a business perspective, I mean, in some ways, it's really a clean start in terms of the city being able to go back and not be beholden to the decisions that were made for decades. So, I mean, we see a lot of excitement in terms of, hey, the reality is there's been a lot of great things happening downtown and in Detroit for years now, right? Over the last few years. And the perception hasn't caught up. And obviously, this is a step backwards in terms of the perception for outsiders.
From a national perception,
But internally, this is a bit of a reset, right? For
absolutely.
business owners, I think we're really excited about what this could mean in terms of opening up opportunities for incentives to continue to attract more people downtown and
the
into
biggest,
the Detroit area.
in my opinion, the biggest travesty in this town, and you're going to laugh at me, but the 6-lane boulevard, right, that goes from Cobo to Jefferson, that didn't extend from the Ambassador Bridge to Belle Isle.
Right.
If you ever go to San Francisco and walk around, I said this would be like Detroit if Detroit extended this boulevard, and they're like, "You are nuts." I go, "It's not that."
No,
different.
it really would, and I mean, and that's what we see that with our stuff all the time. We did an event at Hockeytown Cafe, and actually got the good folks, from the Illich Holdings organization to, hook us up with, a group of tickets for one of the Wings games, playing Vancouver and all that kind of fun, happy hoo-ha. When we announced it, you would have thought that we were telling people we were holding an event, we were holding a rave in the Warehouse District.
Yeah.
Right.
You had to write a blog called Suburban Kryptonite.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got so much hate mail.
Yeah, because literally,
oh my God, we're going to Detroit.
The first response we got was, the only way I'll go is if you get a bus and pick us all up in Royal Oak and bring us down there, because
we don't get that anymore, though. That was 3 years ago.
That's what I mean. That's 3 years ago.
Today, we don't hear that at all.
Well, no, our downtown events used to be 20, 30 people.
If we're lucky.
Right. Now they're the same 80, 100, 120 that they've always
people actually want us to go downtown.
Yep.
Right, and one of my favorite parts of what I do is getting the opportunity to bring friends, family, and potential business partners downtown who maybe haven't been downtown to see what's exciting.
Right.
And when they get a chance to walk around and see everything that's happening, oh my goodness, the excitement is just palpable. I mean, I've seen CEOs from tech startups in the Bay Area that come here, walk around, and say, "Wow, there's something that's happening here, and I want to be a part of this at the ground level as you guys continue to build this. But this is very real in terms of what's happening."
Well, I remember when my buddies came, one of my clients, a bunch of those guys came from Pittsburgh when the Super Bowl was going on. And they came back and they go, "Dude, Detroit's actually kind of cool." I'm like, "What'd you think it was?" Like, we thought we'd have to wear flak jackets. And
we thought it was RoboCop.
Right. It's not far off from RoboCop.
They believe the media and the hype. Right.
So, I mean, before we wrap up, I mean, Jay, anything else you want to throw out about Give Camp or anything else that's going on?
So there's, I guess, a couple of cool things that are coming on. The biggest issue we've run into the last few years is that Give Camp is just one weekend out of the year. And that doesn't work for all volunteers. That doesn't work for all of the nonprofits. Yet, even the nonprofits that participate in Give Camp Weekend, they have needs that extend beyond the weekend. Hey, some, I don't know, domain name changes, DNS changes. Hey, can you go, this really isn't the right
Can you
color
program
blue.
my VCR?
Right, can you program my VCR? So we've even been tossing the idea of turning...
What's a VCR?
Exactly.
Turning this into more of a perpetual event. Still having the big Give Camp Weekend for the big projects, but maybe doing something more monthly for the little
Are you
things, for
scheduling
the
anything like that
stuff.
now, or is that something you're thinking about?
It's something we've been tossing around the idea, seeing if we can gauge any interest, if the community likes that idea.
I was gonna, just thinking off the top of my head, if someone has a project in need, and the volunteers fill it as hey, I got an hour this week, I got a couple hours next week. Maybe it's not on a once a month meeting, but if you have an open project and it's kind of, maybe it takes 4 months to finish, I think that'd be a cool thing to think about too.
Sounds like an overhead management.
Well, no, I mean that's actually a good follow-up question, because you were talking about whatever projects you're having these dev teams do, it has to be done by Sunday.
Right.
So what if they want ongoing maintenance? Like, have you ever had one of these nonprofits say, that developer was ace. I want to hire
our board
him.
members changed. We need an update to our site.
I want it red.
Now, but take that all the way to the other end of the spectrum. Sometimes the project is too small to really be an appropriate fit for Give Camp. There's lots of, one of the projects that we're taking on this weekend.
Is the logo too small?
It's a smaller project, but
by Wednesday.
It's a data migration project, because they have some old donor management software whose requirements are, no lie, Windows 95 and 32 megabytes of RAM.
Oh my God!
Of course,
I just threw up in my mouth. I was going to say.
So
even if you're not in IT, you should throw up in your mouth a little bit.
1200 baud modem, is that next?
and yet again, people wonder why I still keep my Windows 95 install CD, my DOS 622 install diskettes floating around, because you never know.
Right,
because you never know, dude.
Nancy Kerrigan says.
For us technical folks, I mean, we're talking about a software package who still requires an 8-character directory name.
If you
And for
see
the-
anyone with a Windows 95 still, just call me.
Shouldn't that be one of your requirements for a nonprofit to like deny them part of the participation?
No.
No.
So with their thing, the project for this year, they bought a subscription into a cloud service that does donation management now.
Cloud.
But do the cloud.
What is the cloud?
They've been having a tough time migrating their data from this old archaic Windows 95 thing into the cloud.
We used to have hosted
Go
server.
figure.
Right.
We used to have hosted server, but now we want the cloud. Can you make that happen?
So to break this down for the non-technical folks, this is like making a cell phone call on AC Slater or Screech Powers cell phone. You know, the one
nice.
The big one that was like a
Right.
brick
No, that was
size
Zach-
up
it
to
was
your
like-
box.
it was like a brick.
No,
Right.
Zach Morris had that phone. AC Slater didn't. He was on the other side of the train tracks.
Yes, this is basically migrating your address list from that old shoebox size phone to the little one that'll fit
Was
in
it the
your
Michael
pocket.
Douglas Wall Street phone? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, well played.
No, Zach Morris's dad was loaded, so he got the big brick phone. But yeah. Screech didn't. He could only afford Hawaiian shirts.
Didn't Screech wind up doing porn?
Yes,
He
he
did.
actually
Yes.
did. Yes, good old Screech. All right, and on that note,
We're gonna wrap up episode.
So we've got,
11.
we'll have all the recaps and all that fun stuff published out tomorrow at some point in time on our site. That's itandthed.com or detroitnet.org. In
Find
the
us on
meantime,
iTunes,
if you want
SoundCloud.
to, all that fun stuff, you can find Ann Arbor Give Camp at annarborgivecamp.org. You can find Grand Circus. Give own to Chiefs. You can find Grand Circus at grandcircus.co.
Either way.
Or CO.
Fine. All right.
Yeah.
Co. What country code is that?
Tentacles, NT. Big difference.
Do we say Detroit.net?
Can we get Detroit.co?
You could.
I swear to God.
This is the IT and the D show. We will see you next week.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
That's all, folks.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they say can't be done?